I think it will come good. I think human nature, just to meet that point, will always turn things around. I'm an optimist when it comes to evolution, and I think we'll get there. But I think we're going to go through this phase now in the next few decades, which we're already seeing, where we've gone through a huge pace of change the last 10 years with information technology improvements, the way the whole economic system has been under the spotlight, increased competitiveness, the way our family demands have increased, like caring for elderly relatives. We now have much more two-earner families. So there's a whole load of new pressures come on board, and we're living in this environment where our brains are taking on, research has shown about 5 times the amount of information that we did, for example, in the 80s. And although our brains have these trillions of neuron connections, there actually is a limit to how much information we can take on at one time. And I think we've reached that limit until we learn how to manage ourselves and almost create a kind of healthier, calmer mind. So, for example, techniques that help us to switch off and not have this looping thinking at night and be able to take breaks. So we've seen this great interest in things like mindfulness that have now reached the corporate world even, which people are finding very beneficial for that sort of purpose. So, and the way I see it, I think there's a lot of ancient wisdom that's been lost around the body. So everything from metaphors we use in daily life, like on one hand and the other, or thinking outside the box. There's actually a lot of inherent ancient kind of body wisdom about how we really need to use our whole self and our body, for example, in how to explain something. It's much more efficient if we can use both hands instead of having our hands restricted, for example. So if you start exploring some of these ancient sayings or some of the wisdom that perhaps has been overlooked now, we can see that how we can harness almost our body as a resource so that we can build this almost personal force field to give us the capacity to cope with the extra demands that the modern life is throwing our way.